So like, I have no free time. And so then all of a sudden, well, they make me sick all the time. Yeah. And then secondly, all of a sudden I get things done, right? It was like one of those things where it was depressing to be sick, but at the same time, it took me some blessings, I guess. I watched my grandmother. I know, I'm like, I don't remember like that you were grandmother. Yeah, just look to young grandmother. Like, no, like goes right to his pedal. Yeah. And it's just like his face and totally fine. Yeah. We have the perspective that don't really have a how that. Yeah. Then they just like know. Yeah. But do you have any pictures lately? Yes, I got some. My dad had, I was just like his wife, he had his garage right now, like that, it kind of had like a bump out to the back, so like never so long, and it was like, and it had like a doggy board to go with like a big outdoor kennel space, and then like, so he had like a whole, I love that the way, because it wasn't, you could be like you get over one, but then it's like another thing, similar, but like we're hoping and like we have this, like a party too, designer, I don't know what you call it.
Look at that! Oh, wait!
Monday I was so upset.
By the time the end of this meeting is done, though.
Monday was the first day that I woke up.
Good morning.
And I go, this is the first day that he goes up. Yeah. Well, well, hopefully, we may talk about an antibiotic. My daughter's
Yeah, I don't think you use having the black part. What's up with that?
Maybe a little bit.
Tom, right, everybody? Gonar? Everybody come in? Hey, good news. It's whatever time. It's 11. 11. And he needs his thing. I don't know if you guys look. He's in a suit.
Wow.
That's a little confusing to me that he's in a suit. Good morning. Sarah Anderson sneaking in on sideways there. I'm kind of going in the crowd. So, Stakeholder Meeting 118, 2023, starting today. Obviously, a huge day on the 16th, good day to have celebrate some incredible accomplishments and an incredible movement that matters to all of us. So, take a minute to recognize Martin Luther King and his impact on the world around us. Super important. Moving one thing as we go. So, bucket fills, bucket fills, bucket fills. Other things to be thankful for and to thank people for, but if you want to go ahead and advance that, the one I want to call out is SPAR gave us a bucket fill. SPAR gave us a bucket fill, golden rule recognition of Melissa Johnson. Yes! Melissa always exhibits a positive attitude and a willingness to help others. She turns every task at our brokerage into an uplifting experience that's educational, fun, and full of value. She supports every agent in the brokerage and is an advocate for an agent-centric environment. She is convinced I sent that in, and I promise you I did not. And for those, do you mind telling us a little bit about what Golden Rule recognition is with SPAR? I know you're going to talk about SPAR later, but we're going to talk about a little bit right now.
Oh, of course, yes, absolutely. Actually, I've been thinking about this as a profit share opportunity as well since I received it. Now I have better context for it, but SPAR encourages good realtor collaboration amongst, or all of our associations encourage good collaboration amongst one another. So they have a recognition program called the Golden Rule, and actually Jason Oliver here at our Market Center has received one as well. It's very simple. It's just a link on their website that you can click through and put in a good word. And so I think for you guys, as you look at building your profit share, you should submit a Golden Rule recognition for every realtor that you've worked with on every transaction. Then when they receive what I received in the mail, which was really fun, was a very nice letter and this cool bookmark that looks like a golden ruler, which I think you all know the golden rule. Do unto others as you want done to yourself. It was so heartwarming. It felt so good. And if your collaborating realtor can receive that, and it can be anonymous, and you can say, oh, I noticed through SPAR that you received that award. Perhaps we should talk about having coffee together or working together at brokerage. So take advantage of it. It's very heartwarming and it meant a lot to me, whoever anonymously.
Pretty cool, thank you, Melissa. And we do have a bucket fill from the actual bucket, Lisa.
Megan answering my questions 24/7.
Thank you, Megan. At 1 o'clock in the morning, now you know who you can call. 24/7. All right, I want to bring up my friend Gonar, who is going to give away the Spirit Award. He is quite spirited. Also, you might have to adjust your viewing. His angle is a little higher than the rest of us.
I'd like to, I don't think he's here now, but I'd like to give it to Jason Oliver. He's helped me with my scripts and a ton over the last few weeks, and it's just been great.
Awesome, thank you. Fantastic, thanks, Gonar. We have a couple new agents. One of them's on Zoom, by the way, Carrie Ann Pollard, and Adam, I saw earlier. He's in the building somewhere, so he joined us last week as well. And we have another new agent who will make the board next week. But go ahead and stand up and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Yeah, there you go. Hello, my name is John Sandstead. I'm brand new, my license still pending, but I'm really excited to join. I'm really grateful to be here today. I'm so excited to learn and experience all the new opportunities heading my way. Super, super proud to be a part of this brokerage, and especially I know that teamwork and just communal love is something that I always wanted to work with, and I was told that this was the best brokerage around. So.
Right.
Can you stand up and say that again?
All right, campers, Zach and Carly Duckworth. Let's give them a round of applause. We have an event coming up on January 26th. You can register for the event. And this is a pretty interesting event. We're going to talk a little bit about tech later on, but this is something that was requested by agents at large to have. Part of our new focus in the tech department is to talk about real estate techniques and then very lightly talk about how tech is embedded in it. So this Shift into Overthrive event, if you haven't registered, is on January 26th. It's from 9 to 2 at Cedars Hall in Minneapolis. And they'll be talking about how to generate leads, timely skills, doing the right activities, and implementing leverage to be successful, and then how tech implements into that. So it is a tech-sponsored event, but it is primarily real estate stuff. And you can register for it there. And I'm going to have Donnie talk a little bit about the event.
Hey, Keller Williams, North Central Region, Donnie Brookman here from the Labs team with KWRI, and I'm so excited to be visiting you in person on January 26th with Matt Green bringing the Shift into Overdrive event. And let me tell you, if you're an agent out there that wants to earn more money and have more time, then you do not want to miss this event. Matt and I are going to be bringing out some of the most common objections that you're hearing in today's market. We're going to be talking lead generation strategies, helping you identify the right leverage points, and overall, what are the simple tactics to help you win big in 2023? You do not want to miss this, and we'll see you there on January 26th.
So cool stuff about that, and I didn't mention this, but I'll mention it now. Free. Free. No fee. Just like me, no fee. And we want to talk a little bit about an event we have coming up on February 14th. Jamie, if you want to talk a little bit about that while I do some funny business.
Yeah, on the 14th, we have Path KW Wealth with Amanda Dahl. We're gonna play a little video just so you get a flavor of her personality and what she brings to an event. It's not wealth, it's business planning event that we're gonna show. But yeah, I just encourage you to show yourself some love. One of the things I love about this company is that they're concerned about your wealth. So you making, having that much more passive income as time goes doesn't impact the numbers in the market center, right? If you guys are getting rent from all the rentals and the different wealth opportunities, it doesn't, but man, it sure makes us feel good that you're living the life that you deserve. So here's Amanda Dahl.
Burnsville, Minnesota, Amanda Dahl here, and I have to tell you, I just got off of an airplane in Minneapolis, and y'all were on my mind because we are just 1 month away, just under a month away, of our 4-hour Your Path to Light course that is free absolutely to you, hosted by your market center. So I'm curious, have you registered for the class? Y'all, we're going to be talking all things wealth. Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. We're going to be talking about the flow of money. We're going to talk about 6 key perspectives in order to build wealth and the 9 ways that keep people from being millionaires. Y'all do not want to miss this class. So it's going to be February 14th. Come spend your Valentine's Day with me as we walk through our wealth journey in the Your Path to Wealth course together. I'll see y'all soon.
How about that?
So we were able to switch that.
We were able to switch that in time.
All right.
What's the time on that event? 11:30.
Any other questions, Bob?
There should be a, in your flip finder in there to register too. It has more information. All right, another event you don't want to miss are awards and holiday party. We're doing things a lot different this year. We're combining the two, and we're gonna have a big party. Few questions that we had were attire. So we're doing formal black tie. Don't let that discourage you from coming, but
Is that black?
Yeah, let's grab a little
you
more,
could
please.
wear this. We prefer this, or even don't have to wear a suit jacket. It's kind of like what you would wear to a wedding, formal. So please sign up. It will be a good time. We have a DJ, dancing, food. There's gonna be a photo booth, and of course, to honor all of you guys.
How much does it cost?
$0, but bring cash because there will be a cash bar.
Excellent.
Wait, a round of applause for the cash bar. Thank you.
What was that from the MCA? What questions do we have about this?
Any other questions about the soiree?
Huge event, very excited for everybody to be there, and we want to make sure that.
Somebody?
Yes. Yes, you can bring +1. When you register, just make sure that you change the number to 2, because there's gonna be 2 of you rather than the 1.
Steve?
Are you gonna have the photo thing behind where we can take pictures and then post it on social media?
Yep, so there will be photos on stage for the awards, and then off stage, we have a whole photo booth that Toddy and I are creating, so
Okay,
We're getting crafty.
We hired a professional photographer, so like you can be all
Yep.
dressed up and, you know, get your picture with your significant other and then get your picture with the awards and stuff too, so, yeah.
awesome.
Any other questions? I want to see everybody there because, I mean, after all, this is about recognizing you and the great work you've done over the last year. And having you be there would be cool.
And you're gonna really feel sorry when you look at the photos after and wish you were there. So just be there.
I'm sure you guys have heard of family reunion. I can't tell you how excited I am to go for the first time. Look at how much fun these folks are having. And it's sneaking up. It's sneaking up. It's coming up here on the 18th of February. So we will, this is something important we wanted to share, is we will have a meeting prior to on February 1st after the team meeting so that we all understand what each other's game plans are and be aware of all the different opportunities outside of the classes. Also, the Slack groups invites are out, so you should have gotten those. And the agenda is massive, so there's different breakout opportunities. And when you click on the link for breaking out, like your whole screen breaks out. It's like 30 things. So I don't know how we're gonna choose which ones we're gonna be at, because there's so many good juicy ones to help business. However, it's great having all those options. And our award-winning broker,
Aww.
Melissa.
All right, well, because it's been a little playful already, and because, you know, I like to have fun, and I'm a kinesthetic learner, I'm gonna have everyone please stand up.
Is that what that good word means?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, your job right now is to give 5 people a high five, like a good, meaningful one.
Coming in hot.
I love it.
We'll do it again.
Yes.
A high five.
That's like a big old group hug right there. Okay, next, everyone grab your pen. We're taking notes. Everyone, please write down on your piece of paper the number 651 776 6000. That's the phone number to SPAR. You may possibly have to talk with them 5 times a year. So that's what the 5 is for. I know this seems a little basic. This may seem a little elementary, but I'll be fully transparent with you. Before coming here as your broker, when I had my real estate license, I really had no idea when my dues were due. It just happened. So you are all going to be much more educated, much more aware that you have a fiscal responsibility with the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors 5 times a year. 4 of them are your quarterly dues. They charge you for your quarterly dues the month before the quarter. So for example, you were charged and it was due in December for this quarter, then it'll be March, then it'll be June, then it'll be September. But as a convenience to you, and you can do this if you use their website, you also may have to call them, you can set that up on a monthly payment plan. By show of hands, anyone in here by chance know if you're on the monthly payment plan? I strongly encourage it. I strongly recommend it. Now, you may also be getting these calls from our lovely front desk saying, hey, you haven't paid your SPAR dues. And the problem is if you don't pay them, they shut down our entire MLS access. So you don't want to be the one who forgets to pay those dues. So set them up on auto pay. But if you get a call from the front desk, it just means that maybe you were on vacation and your credit card was compromised, so they closed it down and you had to start with a new number. Or maybe your card expired and the expiration date has passed. So anticipate getting some calls from us, but please remember, 4 times a year, it is your fiscal responsibility. Then to add to the confusion, there is a fee that you pay 1 time a year. It goes to the National Association of Realtors and also to SPAR. And the reason they have it set up as a separate payment is there's optional items that you can include in that. You can give to the charitable foundation, you can give to the government, to the RPAC, to the Realtor Political Action Campaign. And so they don't allow that one to be on auto pay. So that can really throw you for a loop, like, oh dang, it's time for me to pay those annual dues. So remember, everyone's gonna stand up again, because I know this is getting kind of boring. Stand up one more time. I want everyone to step, I want you to shimmy, I want you to shake. Because, you can sit down now. Because in September, when we're shimmying and shaking, is when you should contact SPAR with another S, because I'm a kinesthetic learner, and you should make sure and pay your annual dues. If you feel like it's going to be a lot to pay that roughly $600 in September, they, as a convenience to you, will also set that up on a payment plan, where the payment will come out when you call in September, then once in October, and also once in November. So please help out the brokerage. Don't allow us to lose our MLS access. And just remember to pay those dues 5 times a year. Thank you.
Wanted to get right to the point and discuss something that's come up, make sure that everybody is abreast of a change that is coming. We don't want to dance around the subject. Tech fees from Keller Williams International are changing. The current tech fee is $45, and Keller Williams International is raising the fee $25 an agent. New tech fee will be $70 a month. And that goes into effect in March. So want to make sure you have some heads up on that. But to talk about that, I did want to talk about kind of where we were when they started that fee, where we are, and what is coming and why that's changing. For those of you who weren't around, at one point in time, Command looked like that. And you can imagine that that was not a lot of information, and it was cumbersome and slow. And if any of you were around at the beginning of that process, not only was it cumbersome and slow, but it was literally a mess. It couldn't do what you wanted it to do when you wanted to do it. We have changed that going forward and made a significant amount of changes to make it more usable by everyone, make it friendlier, and make it more robust so that it actually answers a lot of the questions. And you can see just from a visual standpoint, the significant difference in just a contact record. Every single element of Command from the top to the bottom has changed significantly over the course of time and has changed based on feedback given by agents to make the system better and more effective than it was in the past. Where we are going, and this is straight from Keller Williams International, we'll completely upgrade the campaigns applet that will make it the leading agent to generate leads across multiple social and digital channels by family reunion. So right now you can do ads on Facebook, but more elements are coming to that campaign so that you can do additional things. One of the things that can also be done through there, and we've improved dramatically, is direct mail. And if you've ever used Remine to create a direct mail campaign, you can actually do that directly through campaigns applet in Command. Select all of the places you want to go based on the criteria you select, and they will mail that stuff for you. There's a fee for that particular thing, but it combines 2 steps into one. Complete agent website enhancements will be done by the end of Q1. Anybody who set up a Command website knows that there might be some more things that need to be put in there, and those changes are coming to be put in place by the end of the quarter. Internal listings program will be finished by the end of the first quarter, and new interface and time-based smart plans, which will allow a lot more flexibility in how you set them up, how they work, and their effective reach by the end of the first quarter. Open house sign up, a distinct thing for you. If you've ever been to one of the classes and I teach you how to do an open house sign up and sign in, 1-step process for that. It will be put in Command by the end of the first quarter. The ability to sell vendor space on your agent website is coming. So if you have a preferred vendor, you want to co-advertise or co-brand with them, that is in there. And that is coming on your agent website. So that's a pretty exciting element and has been asked for by a lot of agents. And finally, tech road shows like the one that's free earlier is included in that as part of the regular plan going forward. So you'll see a lot of those things. That's from Keller Williams International. Now, for myself and us as a collective, where we are headed as a brokerage from a tech standpoint is this year's goal is to get 201 contacts per agent. Does everyone know why that's important? Why 201 is important?
No.
6 figures? What's that?
$100,000 in GCF.
The average Keller Williams agent with 201 contacts in their database is at 100,000 income. Below that number, the number is significantly lower. That is a break, essentially a break point that we have found greatly determines the outcome and income of our agent success. So that's a huge part of our goal this year to get to that point. Smart plans touching 50% of all of our contacts. They're in there, they're free. And if you were to pull up your smart plans right now, you may have them running. I would be surprised, I've done a survey with a lot of agents, that we don't contact nearly as many people as we think we do. Maybe we don't have their email address, maybe we don't have their text, maybe we don't have everybody set up. But the goal for the brokerage is to be at 50% of all contacts touched in some way systematically using a 36 touch program. Expansion of the preferred leads program, we're going to continue to bring that for you. For those of you who are interested in that, please make an appointment with me. I would love to talk to you about the options that are available. Starting on Thursdays during the tech class, I normally offer at 2 p.m. Instead of having a class at 2 p.m. on Thursdays, I am literally just going to have open Zoom on this. Be in my office. You want to Zoom in, you just click on the Zoom link at the bottom of KWPR-dashboard, and I will be available to you to help out anything you have, kind of like office hours back when you were in college, right? 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock on Thursdays. It is on the calendar for the Market Center, and I'll be available during that time. In conjunction with marketing, my good friend Kelsey has a menu of services we will be combining to discuss things that I can do for you, or in conjunction help her finish. So there'll be a number of different sorts of things like, you know what, Jason, you've talked about those smart plans. I get they're super important. I don't want to write them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to do them, but I know that they're important. Can you please do them? I have an opportunity for that sort of thing. And focusing this year on consulting appointments, removing the hurdles to your business. Okay? Tech isn't the thing that we do. We run our business. I'm going to be more of a consultative approach with each of your businesses and talk about what we can do to get to the root cause of the issues that are keeping you from being successful. Whether that's, I don't know how to do smart plans, whether I don't know how to do contacts. Let's talk about how we can make that tech work for you instead of you working for the tech. You can make those appointments with me at any time, but I will be calling you to make appointments as well.
Is neighborhood nurtures considered a smart plan?
It is, absolutely.
Can I put in a quick plug for that?
You can, I would love for you to do that.
If you've tried to use command, didn't feel like it was comfortable or whatever in the past, or I would encourage you to go in and set up at least a neighborhood nurture to yourself on wherever you live, and do it twice a month. It'll automatically do it once a month, but you can set it up for twice a month. I just got mine this morning, and I've got 3 or 4 neighborhoods around me, so I can see what is for sale, what has sold. I can find the schools, I can find restaurants, I can find grocery stores, I can find all kinds of crap. And if you're not doing it yourself, then you're not aware of what you can do for your customers. So I'm taking anybody that I have on automatic emails in the MLS, I'm putting them on neighborhood nurtures. Past customers, I'm putting them on neighborhood nurtures. It's just, and you don't have to ask them. Just, if you've got an email, just do it. And they get 1 email a month, and maybe they'll click on it. And it's a touch. You know, we're trying to do 36 touches or more a year. So take advantage of a simple thing that's there. Set up those neighborhood nurtures, and if you need help, call me. I'll walk you through it. It's real simple.
You don't have to call Steve. Call me. I'm free.
You can call
Steve
me
is not
too.
always busy, but you can call Steve. because he's an advocate of this fantastic program. And that's a great example of the sorts of things that we want to make sure that we're getting. And you would be surprised. I know I surprised an agent the other day. They're like, oh yeah, I'm touching all my clients. Turns out when you really look at it, you're not touching nearly as many as you think. And so getting that smart plan percentage up to the number of people you need to talk to on a regular basis to guarantee the income you're looking for is critical. That's what I'm here to help you do.
I just realized there's one person I haven't set up, and that's Olivia. I sold her house.
20 years ago.
I think she's gonna take that over. She might not have told you, she has a new agent now.
And Colin, I forgot.
So let's bring on up my good friends Brian and Drake, but really only Brian today. He is Robinless.
Yes, Steve mentioned that at 2 in the morning, you can call him. So now you had 2 people to call at 2 in the morning.
It'll be beside my bed, it'll be on the vibrator, I don't think I'll hear it, so.
All right, so 2 things I wanted to cover today is, in January, we all experience a market slowdown. I'm getting final approvals from start to finish in 8 to 10 days. And why? Because our underwriters are local, they're jumping on files immediately. Maybe even more importantly, appraisers are more than all caught up. You order an appraisal today and they're out tomorrow or the next day, which is almost always, if there's a lag in something, it's just because the appraisers, last summer it was 1 to 2 weeks to get an appraiser out there and then even more time to get it back. So if you've got anybody who's needs an immediate something, keep me in mind. Also, we've got a lot of new agents here coming on board all the time. And probably one of the biggest ways to get new business for new agents is open houses. I wanted to touch on a couple ways to boost your business through open houses. Now, you might be holding an open house, people are coming through, they sign your form, they're logging into the new KW form, they're putting their information in, and you're talking with them, trying to build rapport, and boy, they really like you. Thing is, when they leave and they go maybe to another open house, boy, they really like that person too. So what's to separate you from them? And I've got a couple ideas for you. Again, because you're not going to be necessarily in position here, sign my broker rep agreement. Who's going to be able to do that? I mean, the best agent in the world that would have trouble doing that at an open house. So once you're talking with them, and that, you're chatting them up, and we're just looking right now, we're trying to save money for down payment, or we're just trying to build our credit right now, and so just kind of looking, we're not that interested. Well, maybe something that you could do is, hey, let's say as far as building cash, or they're trying to save up money. Hey, my mortgage guy knows all about zero down programs and down payment assistance programs. Would it be okay if he gave you a call? That one sentence can be a game changer for you. And I want it to be me, but if you get them to say, yeah, and you might have somebody say, no, nobody called. Fine. But if they say yes, now I'm going to be calling them immediately. I got a reason to call. They gave you okay. It was just kind of a casual, hey, it would be okay if my mortgage guy gave you a call. But once I talk to somebody for 10, 15 minutes, they're going to be locked into you. All right. And let's say there was a credit issue. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it takes. I'll whip them into shape, and then they're coming back to you. All right. So just kind of a passive way to get your claws into a customer who goes through an open house. I'm right around the corner. Any questions on that, or you want to go through a mortgage 101? Yep.
My good friend Brian. We'll put some chairs up here. We're going to talk about the SHIP workshop. For those of you who didn't get a chance to attend, we want to make sure that you get some interesting information highlights and exciting information as well. Jamie, do you mind leading the show?
Right on. Well, first of all, as you guys know, we love sharing and presenting as much info as we can, but there's nothing better than to hear from all of you. We have 4 agents today, well, 3 and 1 in spirit. This is,
It's surprising, but I am Amanda today.
he's Amanda Mendoza. So first of all, let's introduce Brian, Pa, Kellyanne, Amanda, or man. Come on up. It helps us as a, oh yeah, let's go. It's very important you guys learn from your peers and to share what you've learned too with all of us, and it helps us as a market center to really drill down. The more we know where your mindsets are at and where your needs are at, so it helps us drill deeper in the current moment. Wonderful. Hey, well, welcome. Do you want to sit this way? You want to sit this way? That's all right. All right, so well, let's start with smaller Pa. What's your biggest aha, Pa?
My biggest aha from James Shaw and the shift meeting that we had was your database is very important, right? Am I being very intentional with my database? Am I leading like I'm supposed to be doing on a day-to-day basis? And then also, am I following up with my database? I think that's very important. With that, when I am following up, am I having those tough conversations, especially with, we all have buyers that held off for a little bit, right? Are we having those tough conversations, letting them know that it's better to have time in the market, right? And then to time the market, right? You want to be in the market at the right time. So just having those tough conversations.
Kelly.
I had just said it's, you know, it's kind of like Pat said, it's not news. It's not like it was this groundbreaking thing that he said, but just, it was a great reminder of how important your database is and how important it is to constantly be in touch with them. I mean, I took a lot of notes, but I guess that's probably the biggest thing for me was that, you know, it's just such a great reminder that, and like Jason said, we think we're in touch with them more often than we are. And, you know, I'm sure that there's room for everybody to improve on that.
Right on. I think one of his quotes I wrote here was, we either love our database or we're indifferent to it. He said, indifferent is even worse than hate. Because if hate, you're at least giving them some sort of an intention. Indifferent means you're like, whatever. So let's not whatever our database, especially after he helps you get to 201 plus. Brian.
Yeah, so, well, one of the, I think the overall theme, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to take away, but was action. And in the shift book, actually, I ended up just getting an office in our space here, which was really cool. So I came in and spent 5 hours.
Yep.
So taking action, I just thought I'm going to go in and start reading the book and making some calls to my Boomtown database. And so on page 26 here, it says, you know, once you've gotten real, you've got to get right into action and into the right kinds of action. For all necessary knowing what to do, taking the right action now is just as necessary. Once you, it's not written very well, but once you know, then it's not about more knowing, it's about doing. The difference between a career worth having and a career worth chucking is focused action taken every day. So the focused actions that I've already taken, pretty cool, have led to a listing that a former client called on Friday and said they're thinking about selling, and I jumped right into action. And by 1 o'clock, I was sitting in my photographer's Tesla with the drone flying over, and we got photos done. And it just came live this week. So if anybody's looking for a beautiful rambler in the wilds at 725, let me know. So that was really cool. And focused action, I think, is the key.
And can you just say a quick word about the amazing notes you take?
Yeah, so that's the just the notes. I was sitting next to Steve here when we were kind of taking it, and I've been to Bold, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and family reunion a couple times, and it's just, we get so much information, so I need to kind of separate it out. So it just kind of, you know, and anybody can borrow this or look at it or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. One of the quotes too that can help with that would be talking about action, inconsistency and sporadic is okay and was okay in the last couple of years. But in 2023, it kicks you out. So let's not kick anybody out, let's take action. I love it. Amanda?
You know, one of the things that I took away was to tighten your belt, print off your bank statements and go through each line item and code them A, B, C, or D. A, mandatory, like mortgage, medical insurance, etc. B, negotiate. Is it getting a return? Internet, trash company, cell phone, etc. Call and ask for a deal to remain a customer. Be surprised at how much money you can save with various companies just by saying, thinking about going somewhere else. Privilege, and that would be category C, Netflix, Hulu, your gym membership. Do you have to have those? Consider them. Are they important to you? And then D, I don't even know what this is and I don't use it. You have to get rid of those right now. And taking the time to individually go through your bank statement line item by line item and coding them will help you get right for this period. And that's one of the most important things that you can do. And when the quotes that she had, he mentioned that goes along with that is being resourceful and realistic. Be resourceful and realistic about that list. Think about what you need and what you don't need. Be realistic. Are you really using that? Does it really give you the value that you think it does? I mean, I'll point out my household, I'm not Amanda in this particular case, but we probably have too many subscriptions to various streaming services. I say probably, I mean definitely, because we can't watch them all at the same time. So that's a great example of a way that we can look at our life and our business and get right by being resourceful and realistic.
Thank you. And Jason. And Brian, going back off of what Brian's actions he took, Kelly, is there any specific actions that you have taken since then?
I would say that I haven't necessarily taken action yet, but one thing that he did mention was that, like for client events, and we do have one coming up in February with the pies and or pizzas. The one thing that kind of surprised me about that was that he said, so I wrote, I haven't been great about calling people before and after a client event, assuming that the event itself was enough, or the text that went out, or the email that went out, the invitation to the event itself. James said, we don't even want people to come to these client events. That's not the goal, is to get them. And obviously that's fun, and I enjoy that part of it, seeing people that you don't always see. But he said, we don't even want them to come. The important thing is making the phone calls before and after the event. So that's something that will change, that I'll make sure to be making those phone calls around the event rather than focusing so much on the event. So that's for time.
How about yourself about any actions you've taken since then, or that you're preparing for?
Like I said earlier, just be intentional with the days. Stick to my schedule, get here early, Legion for the hour or 2 hours that we may be Legioning for. Making sure to follow up. I have a lot of people that, let's just say last year, I didn't really follow up, and that is my game plan this year, is to follow up as much as I can. A lot of people reached out, we had a great conversation. Some things may have happened here or there, and I didn't follow up with that process. I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional and follow up.
Wow, you just got Yoda, brother.
You don't try.
I will.
So does Amanda have something on there regarding what action she's taking?
She mentioned a quote from James. We have moved from a speed market to a skilled market, and using more of her downtime to educate herself and learn more techniques and focus on herself. If you're not busy, you've got time to reinvest in yourself, and taking the time to learn about more actions, scripts, practicing, things like that, filling up that time profitably is super important.
I like it. Real quick, raise your hand if you attended. See, that's pretty impressive. I mean, we have this many people that attend things that are of value. I will say this, people who are not in this brokerage, and specifically here, they're doing great things like having panels like this about the shift, and they're reading book. But Olivia flies in the guru of the ship for all of us. So I want to think of that impact and what that's having on us all here right now with these awesome people. Anyone have any action in the job that they've taken since then or are ready to implement? Emily?
I've been joining actually James this morning call every morning.
The shift.
Yes. Our time is 6:30 to 7:30, but the first 30 minutes are just like conversation and music. Just recommend jumping on at 7. It's usually about 20 minutes at 6:30. And honestly, it's been so motivating to get off and then I go, first I drop my kids off. But then when I come back, I go right into the gym. And it's been super consistent ever since joining that call. He ends the call by saying, "There's your inspiration for the day now." So I would recommend it, even like if you're in the car, it's so easy to just jump on and it's really quick. And they just like focus on a topic. And so like this week has been the book obstacle. So persistence was one, courage was another one. It's just, it's been a great 20, 30-minute call that you don't have to say anything. Yeah.
Remind me, do you call in for that or is it a Zoom?
It's a Zoom.
And did he give you the phone number right there?
Yeah, so if you join, I registered, so if you go to his Facebook page, it's like the Pivot, Shift Ahead. You can join that Facebook group, and under that Facebook group, I went to like links, and then it said register for the daily phone call. And you just put in your name and email, and then they send you the Zoom link, and then it's on.
It's recorded too, so
Yes.
for those of you who are promptly on the call at 7, like as I do it too, I'm always watching the recordings like about an hour later.
It is, but yeah, I mean, it's
What?
the same effect, exactly, like I did that the other day, because it was able to jump on, but, it's been great, like, it just keeps your head right.
Thank you. Chad?
Quick accountability person, right? Call it how I see it. And I found the aha I had was with agents, businesses. There's 3 variables that determine our business. There's units, there's GCI, and there's volume. Our team's volume and GCI went up, and so the camouflage, I like blindfolds, said, yay, we beat out 10 grand or whatever we did in GCI from the previous year, but the reality, and I knew this inside, our units went down by 9. So this is the first year in 8 years our business actually went down. I know what the reason is, right? So we got lazy, we got calls coming in, I just gotta keep up with this craziness and everything else, all these other excuses. It's like, okay, well, I know what was going on. I knew it then, but now I really understand because my units went down. I do believe what James said is true. That's an issue. So our recalibration is the unit count for the last 2 years is our base minimum for 2023. And what do we have to do to gain clarity to get there or higher? So it stings because I know what the answer is, right? Go back to work.
Well, he did say, if you've been in the business, you can't see me because I'm behind this post, but if you hold your number of units in 2023 that you did last year, you're beating the market, you know? And basically said, focus on driving up the listings, take 2 to sell 1.
Yep.
And just stay the same in terms of number of units in 2023 as you did last year, or go up. But focus on units instead of the volume and tricking yourself into thinking your average sale price and, everything went up. Everything's gone up. Right? Except for units.
That was a nice pay raise last year. It's gonna stay the same if not go lower, right? And then the units are gonna decline too by 10% this year. Yes, Steve?
I've also plugged into the Facebook group, right? And he's got another group I'm gonna investigate, but so like you've already mentioned, if you don't get there on time or whatever, you've already got something else going on, you can always go back and hear the recording of, and he's in St. Louis in the same class today. James is.
If we hurry up, we can head down there. Awesome. Jess.
And I wanted to piggyback off what Emily said. So after I met with her, I had one-on-ones with all the PC agents, and That's gonna be an expectation of these agents moving forward, is either get on that or have that be that recording to watch that. And then the other thing that he has is, that he talked about in the class was the, her name's Nakia Dollar, she does a 9 to 11 Central Time, lead generation accountability group, right? So you just get on that and, you're on Zoom and you mute yourself and you mute them and you do your work, right? And when you don't show up, somebody says, hey, where's Jason? He's here every day. And then somebody goes, okay, I'll text him, right? So that's the other thing. We have lead generation here every Tuesday, right? And the common theme in everybody's life is, well, I can't get to the office every day from 9 to 11. Right, now you have this, so there's no excuse that you're not doing your lead gen, because that's what we all need to do in order to get those transactions to stay where we were for the past year.
If I can piggyback on that, one of the things that stuck out was dealing with business should never take precedence over finding business. And on the lead gen, and this morning that kind of was ringing in my ears on the way over here because I'm getting the new listing ready. I was super busy with a lot of tasks, almost was late to this meeting. And I had a lead that came in this morning and I didn't follow up with right away. And on the way here, I'm like, oh, I better put my money where my mouth is. So I call this guy. Turns out he's an investor, and he helps foster kids in emergency situations. So he buys houses for the foster program. And he was telling me about it. And he started out by saying, I already have an agent. And so then I asked him a little bit more, and we get to talking, and he's really excited about what he's been able to do for the community. And I just said, can I pray with you real quick over this? And so we prayed through this, and he wants to meet with me next week. He's super excited. So if I wouldn't have, if I would have just been caught up on working the business rather than, continuing to lead gen while I'm working the business, then I wouldn't have made that call probably. And maybe he has an agent or doesn't. I didn't ask if they're their contract. We'll see what happens.
This is awesome.
One of my favorite things that he said was opportunity shows up in transition. And I want to give Kelly a little shout out because she said she hasn't put anything into action, but she actually has. And I think this market gives people an opportunity to hone in on their skills. And Kelly doesn't super love goals, but she set a goal and it's like set in stone, and we have a plan to celebrate it if we hit it. And I think that's when we hit it. Yes, when we hit it. And that's like a big deal for Kelly, so I think that's awesome.
Good job.
Well, only because Tony made me.
Talent pushes you.
Yep, absolutely.
Back to one of the things that Amanda had said.
Yeah, I just want to touch, what really impressed me about what Emily said was, it wasn't about getting on the call specifically, but being on it every day. If there is one thing that I can't stress enough that you pick up from any of this stuff, it is the consistency of your action that will lead to the results. You can't go to the gym one day and you're suddenly strong. You gotta do it every day consistently. Things are gonna get in the way. That's true. And then as soon as you've taken care of that issue, go back to your consistent actions that lead to consistent results. It is inconsistency that gets in your way. Consistent stuff wins every time. Your rituals and routines are what are gonna drive you through this business. That's what's so important.
Over real quick, something we coach in our team, and James said this, remember people, and if you write this down if you want to, please. People learn from three ways. I heard Brian say a second ago, he asked some questions. That's the absolute pinnacle of what we need to do to make them feel a certain way. And there's a difference between feel and logic, right? And so when people feel something about Brian, and he listened to them at a higher level, and he actually prayed with them, and that might have been very important for that individual. Wow, kudos to you, Brian. That you went like 3 layers deep in that. And so he heard and he listened. 1, 2, share experiences and share stories. Those 3 things are how people learn. And I am a victim of this constantly. Talk twice as much as I listen. It should be ask twice as many questions as you talk. Let that person know that you truly care. So good job, Brian.
That was awesome, thanks. And to go back to what you said earlier, when you were talking about you're looking at volumes, we need to be looking at units. We tend to look at these two, but do you remember what James said was more important than all this? What was most important of all of this, even more important than units? Profit. Yeah. So you can have 1 million units, and if you're not profitable, well, we're just spinning our wheels. So in 2023, back to what Amanda was saying earlier, we're gonna tighten that up, and so yes, focus on units. So let's focus on profitability. Amanda, what's our next opportunity for us?
Wiping out 21 and 22 numbers because they don't really count. Going back to 2019, when making your future goals, it's okay to fight to hold your unit for last year, but you need to focus on things you can control. And the last 2 years have been an exception. So, the goal doesn't change, but the path does. And the last 2 years have allowed you to do business in a particular way, but this year's business is not, you're not gonna get there the same way you did last year. You're gonna get there, you just have to do it differently.
And we're talking a lot about mindset. He said, there's been a lot of fear with the upcoming potential changes. Well, there's changes with the market. He says, compare your year to 2019. However, going into 2019, did you go into that year gloomy? You did not. So why go in gloomy this year? It's comparing it to 2019.
Well, I started last year, so I'll from years before. But one thing I want to piggyback off of is pretty much just putting money where your mouth is. Amanda or Jason talked about going to the gym once and just thinking you're going to get stronger. It's a continuous thing. And I talked about following up. And this is a feel-good story. So I've set aside 1 day a week to follow up as much as I can with a certain amount of people. And I followed up with a good buddy of mine. He's in business end of last week. He called me beginning of this week, and he let me know that he has an investor that wants to have a competition with me. I went there last night to chat with him, and he's going to retire, so he has 1.5 million he's trying to invest. I got a chance to sign him, and he can go home right away and start sending multifamily properties. So that is another feel-good story, is making sure you're putting your money where your mouth is. You speak it, make sure you put it into action.
Kelly, do you remember what quotes that is?
Well, I just want to say something to Pa then too, just to, the one thing I wrote was do the next right thing, and that's exactly what you did, and it paid off. So, I said basically the same thing as Amanda, that when setting goals and preparing my business, 1 year to my business, other years, it's important to compare my 22 numbers to 2019 because 20 and 21 were such anomalies. So that's something that I had never really considered before. And like Olivia, I think, had said that, even if your numbers stay the same, you're taking over more market share because the number of sales are down. So even if you're still making the same amount of sales that you have in the past, you still are taking more market share, and obviously that's important.
Yeah, I think it came from John Hofmeister. He gave a really good explanation of how he follows up with his events. I'm an event guy, mostly just because I love to gather people, and I have a friend who's also a Keller Williams, and we gather people together. We just did an event with 35 dads and sons for a father-son trip. It's our 12th annual, and that's a big one every year. But last year I did if you guys have seen The Chosen, I bought up the monster screen at Lakeville, and which was kind of scary when he's printing out all those tickets. Was on the hook, and now I had to sell all those tickets, and so we got 271 out of 275 seats filled. And I was so busy doing the event and having fun that afterward I kind of forgot to call and follow up with everybody. So when I heard John, I'm like, oh boy, I do the work and I have fun, but I need to get way better at following up with those people. Like you said, it's really not so much about the event, it's the follow-up. So fortune's in the follow-up. That was tough to hear.
Hope you enjoyed the movie.
My son and I are actually gonna be in episode 7 or 8, which is coming out in the theaters in a couple weeks. We went down to Texas this summer and we were extras. We had to get costumes made up and the whole deal, and so we had a lot of fun doing that, so we'll see. We should be in the credits for sure.
We'll have a watch party at the record.
Yeah.
Anything else that, Amanda had? Is that, anything else y'all want to add off the top of your head? Well, unless nothing comes up, one of the things I read, I didn't get them all written down because it's fun following your social media that day and the day after. But I believe it was Anna Thompson who wrote, "Fear is a luxury I can no longer afford." What does fear get in the way of? Fear gets in the way of the actions, right? Fear gets in the way of the actions, and so she's working on the mindset that sets your day up for success. Steve?
So there's just Brian's mentioning there of what John brought out during this, the seminar with James is a perfect example. You might go to a 3 or 4 hour seminar like that and only pick up one gem, but that one gem can be worth a tremendous amount to your future if you just follow it. And I'll give another plug for the PIF Shiv It Forward Facebook group. It's a real estate group with 109,000 followers. And if you think there isn't someone out there among those 109,000 followers that could offer you a gem someday in a post in that group or call in and James lets them talk, I mean, I think it's the largest real estate group in Facebook. Maybe I'm wrong, but plug into it. Go there and listen to the recording, if nothing else, if you're not there on time.
Nice. He was proud of the fact that there's more followers there than there are RE/MAX agents. Ripping on RE/MAX.
Yeah.
Just proud that more people are on that page. Oh, we just got 1 minute left. Anyone got some goodies? The right man for the job.
Get right. One thing that kept popping up to me when I looked at Brian's note collage that he had up there was one in the upper right-hand corner that said, imperfect action better than perfect inaction every time. So you don't have to be masterful, but you've got to do it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
That was magic.
One other thing that I would, if you're kind of wrapping things up, he said, when people ask you questions, don't answer them. Ask them a question instead. Someone says, is it a good time to buy or sell? Well, it depends. What are your goals? And I think it's, it's impulse. It's nature to, when someone asks you a question, to answer it, but instead ask them a question and find out where they're coming from, because it's all relative. It just depends on what they're looking for and what their goals are.
It's a great point. Colin really talks a lot about perspective, right? Putting things in the right context. And if you don't know where they're coming from, you can't put the right context. But if the market really stinks, oh yeah, tell me more about it. Then you can know how to help them see the bigger picture in that way. And let's wrap it up with one of his last quote. He had two. One's, "Do not say dumb things." It was one of his favorite quotes. And the other one is, "It's not about the chosen few, but the few who choose." So let's go choose. Thank you all for choosing us.
So thanks, everybody. Let's go do the thing that we normally do. I want to appreciate everybody who came today. Fantastic seeing you all, and we will see you in 2 weeks, but also between now and then too.
I was sitting right next to him, and I saw him doing it, I said, "Are you an artist?" Didn't I? I said,
You actually did.